Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for another one of those weekly trophy list update videos. Today's date is Monday, October 24th, 2022. So this will have covered the week of October 17th through the 23rd. Is that correct? 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yep. Okay, so this will have covered the week of the 17th through the 23rd of October of 2022. So we're just a little bit we're just a little bit over 50 years until the Great War occurs in the Fallout universe. So hope everyone out there had a good Fallout Day if you celebrate that in any sort of fashion. I don't know where I was really trying to go with that. Anyway, in terms of trophies, progress was decent this week. I didn't really do too many good games because I was kind of busy this week. I was recording those like trophy, whatever you want to call them, trophy list analysis videos. And then along with that, I was busy a couple of nights. And then over the weekend, the only time I really got to play on Friday and Saturday was streaming Silent Hill 2 on my alt account, which we did beat the game, which was a lot of fun. Definitely enjoyed that playthrough. Definitely wouldn't mind doing some more games in that franchise at some point on stream. Like Silent Hill 1, at least I have some idea of what to do in that game, plus it's shorter. Silent Hill 3 might be kind of fun because I never played that one either, but we'll have to see. And also, by the way, I think I told you guys this previously, that with Black Ops 3, I'm just going to try to find a new group because the one group that I'm in just never wants to do zombies. They only ever want to do, veteran no death or realistic or even just the combat training simulator. So I've started a new group on PSN Profiles, and hopefully within the next week or so, I can actually find another good group to do everything with. Also, if we scroll on down to Destroy All Humans 2 here, I noticed that the code that I put in at some point for all of the DLC stuff when I first got the game, thankfully it now worked to where the DLC it's the challenge accepted DLC with the challenges in it, it finally came through to where I can actually play it now, which is great. I don't know if I ever will, stream it or anything. Probably not. But, it's kind of nice to know that I have it there. And maybe I will at least touch on it at some point. Maybe I'll even do a video of it or something. We'll have to see. But anyway, this week there was progress made in 5 games, as I obtained 4 Platinums and a 100%. So we can start off by talking about Borderlands 3. This is, of course, not a too difficult of a platinum, and this time around me and Ghost played through it in co-op from start to finish, and we had a lot of fun doing that. It made the game way, way more fun to play, and it also definitely made it easier because we had a lot fewer problems with certain specific trophies. So you have to reach level 50, which you'll probably get in this game well before you finish all of the stuff for the Platinum, because you level up way faster in this game than you did in the previous ones. You have to unlock 10 of the character heads or skins, which is pretty much unmissable. This one's not quite unmissable, you just have to keep hijacking vehicles until you can get 10 unique parts from them. And I think that some of those will count if you do just the crew challenges for them. You have to tip Moxie, which is done when you get to Sanctuary 3. You have 2 co-op trophies. You have to win a duel and revive another player. Both of these can be done with 2 controllers, though, so at the very least, there's no worry about online ever shutting down or anything like that and affecting these 2 trophies, so you can always just do them with a second controller. However, this one does require online connection. You have to have at least one person on your friends list, and you have to send them an item through the social menu. It's an easy enough trophy, but just keep in mind that this one does require an online connection and at least one person on your friends list. So yeah, just do keep that one in mind. Then you have to win a live grenade at the slot machine, which is a completely random trophy that took me 20 minutes to get for some reason. It should not have been as difficult as it was. Then you have the shooting range, which still took a few tries even with 2 people, but we did eventually get it, so it wasn't too bad once we did eventually get it, but it definitely was. It's still one of the trickier trophies in the game, but I wouldn't call it the worst one in the game. Buy 20 cosmetic items from Crazy Earl. That just requires you to have a whole bunch of Iridian. Then you have to decipher all the Iridian slabs. This is one of the trophies that auto-popped when I imported my old save, which is great because this is a really, really annoying trophy otherwise, because there's a lot of these slabs. Some of them are pretty well hidden, and the trophy's known to be very buggy with not always counting certain ones. The Circles of Slaughter is still probably the most obnoxious part of the game, because some of the circles, mainly the last one with Malawan, can actually be pretty tough. Now, we had pretty good weapons going in, so we were able to beat it in a couple of tries, but it still really, really can be frustrating because you can go down quite easily. If you don't have good weapons or a good team, it definitely can cause some problems. Then you have to discover all the named locations in the game, and these 5 trophies can be buggy if you don't auto-pop them in from the PS4 version. I don't know if the issues were ever fixed or not, so, I mean, don't take my word for it. Maybe they were fixed, maybe they weren't, I'm not entirely sure. But some of the locations are just so tiny and so obscure that they're hard to find, and even if you do find them all, it's known to sometimes be buggy, but I think that they might have fixed most of the issues, at least on the PS4 version they did. So if you do the PS4 version, just carry over your save and you can auto-pop a few trophies. You have to complete all the side missions. There's quite a few in this game, but if you just sort of work on them along the way, it's not too bad. Some of them are fairly short, but a number of them are pretty long in this game. The Iridium Proving Grounds aren't too hard, as there's 6 of them, and once you're a decent enough level, they're really not too terribly difficult. Then you have the Hammerlock Legendary Hunts and Zero Targets of Opportunity. Those are basically crew challenges. You can find them around each map. There's like 10 of each. Kill an enemy with an exploding barrel is pretty much unmissable, should come naturally early on. Knife an enemy with a gun blade is easy. You just have to get a weapon with a bayonet on it, which this one took me longer in this version of the game than it did in the PS4 version. You have to kill 2 enemies with a single sticky grenade. That was actually the last trophy I got. So that was a good one to get for the Platinum, because it was fairly easy to just go back to one of the early areas and throw a high-level sticky grenade at 2 low-level enemies. So nothing much to worry about there. You have to get purple gear or better in every slot, which should come pretty much naturally, as you'll get plenty of gear throughout the game, especially toward the end when you do some of the tougher boss fights and stuff later in the game and level up more and do some of the DLC content. The loyalty packages require you to get 100 kills with each of the 9 manufacturers' type of weapons, and then they send you a freebie. So it's simple enough. It can be a little bit grindy for some of the weaker weapons, though. Then you have to complete the main story, which is going to get you every trophy through here, so you get quite a few story-related trophies this time around. There's something like 26 or 27 story missions in this game. Florida Man, I was really trying to save as my last trophy, because I would have been impressed if I got through the game without managing to down myself by an explosion or a grenade. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out. As you can see, I got it like the day before we finished the main story, and then I think I got the Platinum one day after that. So I got pretty close, but couldn't quite do it. So that was a little bit unfortunate. It would have been cool to have that one as my last trophy, to have gotten through that much of the game with it being a 40% trophy. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, it's fine. It's just a trophy. It's not that big a deal. Then you have to use a golden key, which you can get those. You can get them from Twitter and from, like, Discord groups, probably just from a good Google search constantly. If you don't already have one from, like, promotional events or anything like that. And then you have to obtain all the vault rewards, which I believe is an unmissable story-related trophy that you get while looting all the vaults. So that's the base game. Then there's Mad Moxie's Heist of the Handsome Jackpot. This one requires you to finish the main story. It then requires you to finish the 3 crew challenges, which are the statues, the mayor's outfit, and the Torg's hot sauces. Then you have to win the Blackjack minigame, which took us quite a few tries to get. You have to return to the Clapstructor, which you can actually do immediately when he sacrifices himself and gets embedded into the wall. And you have to defeat the Wandering Debt Collector, which is another 100% random spawn, but we got him fairly quickly this time around compared to my PS4 run. So it didn't take us too long to get through all of this DLC. We finished in like 1 or 2 nights. So it wasn't really too bad, because there's no side mission trophy in this one, so you only have to do the crew challenges, and the Blackjack and the Clapstructor is super easy, and the main story, and then the Debt Collector is just luck-based. So a lot of luck-based trophies, of which I guess makes sense for a casino-themed DLC, but nothing too bad. Then you have Guns, Love, and Tentacles. This is the longest one because it requires you to do basically everything. So you get 3 trophies up here for finishing the main story, and then you have to watch Death Trap kill 50 enemies, which takes quite a while. It's one of the rarest trophies in the game, because you actually just have to watch him do it, and it's just kind of tedious and boring. But, I mean, it's not a difficult trophy, but it takes time, and if you don't get it initially, you'll have to go back through several areas of the game to get death trap to appear again and have another chance to watch him kill enemies. So it definitely just takes longer than it should. You have to complete all the crew challenges and side missions in the DLC, which is fairly time consuming this time around because there's a ton of them. And then you have to find all of the echo logs, of which there's a good number of those as well, so it's just an extra collectible trophy that just takes more time. And then you also have to find and kill the 4 rare spawns, but we got all 4 of them kind of along the way with doing the side missions and the crew challenges. And one of the nice things about this game is that if you're playing in a group of people, so like in that case it was, me and Ghost were playing together, basically it means that one person can go off and do the main story quests or activate side quests and stuff, while the other person can go to the other side of the map and complete objectives for quests as well as complete crew challenges while the first player is doing the story stuff. So that greatly speeds up the process for this game. And then the fish jokes we were able to get early because he had the decoration already in his room on Sanctuary, so we were able to do it there. Bounty of Blood isn't too bad. It's just finished the 7 story missions, and you get several story trophies for it. You get 5 trophies just for beating the main story, and then you just have to finish all the side missions. There's only about 10 or 11 of them, and then you also have to complete all of the crew challenges, of which there are quite a few, but most of the stuff in this DLC is fairly short. And it's the same thing with Psycho Krieg. This DLC is also fairly short because you get 5 trophies for beating the main story. You have to complete the side missions and crew challenges, but there's only 9 crew challenges, and all the side missions, except for one of them, are really short this time around. And then Valhalla is sort of an Easter egg you get at the very end of the DLC. So that one does take a little bit of effort to get through because you have to shoot a bunch of secret targets. So it took us a while to figure that one out again because I wasn't actually really watching a video that much in it. But we did beat all of this in one night. It's a real short DLC. It takes 2 to 3 hours if you're quick about it, and are running across different sides of the map as 2 different people. Then you have the Designer's Cut DLC, which is the Arms Race DLC. Winning a round of Arms Race is not too difficult. Just wait until you have a run where you get a couple of good items, then run around, get a few more good items, and then use those to go beat the boss. And it would probably be even easier if you did it in co-op. You also have to explore the entire complex, which is easy, and it's nice because it is glitched in a good way. There's 20 locations, but this trophy tends to pop at around 15, so you don't actually have to find all of them. Extracting 100 total pieces of gear is not difficult. It's just grindy. It takes a couple extra hours because the best strategy is just to drop in, pick up the first items you get out of the first container, immediately run to an extraction point, send out all those items, let yourself die, and rinse and repeat, and you can get 3 items out every few minutes, but it does still take a couple of hours to grind that out. And then finally we have Director's Cut, which is the raid boss. You have to solve all the murder mysteries, which is the story trophy. You have to destroy the 50 iridium piles, which is pretty easy because it actually counts for... It doesn't matter who in the lobby destroys them. As long as they get destroyed, it actually counts for both of you, so that makes it pretty quick, and there's an easy place to farm it. And then you have the raid boss, who isn't too hard if you have some really good weapons and are playing in co-op. I struggled with them a little bit more on the PS4 version because I think that me and Ghost did that one together as well, and his character was pretty low-leveled at the time, so it took a while longer, but nothing too difficult there. So overall, it's not really that hard of a game if you play it in co-op. It's way more fun in co-op. I think it's still one of the weaker entries in the franchise, but I mean, I still had a good time playing back through it. I think we both did because it was just a nice, casual game to sort of work through over the course of 2 or 3 weeks and just make progress on slowly. It was a good time. Next up, we have Puzzle Frenzy. This is a puzzle game. Basically, you have 6 different types of puzzles. Color Connect, Pipe Mechanic, Lexicology, Block Pusher, whatever this one was, and the ball one. Basically, what you have to do is finish the first 5 puzzles in each of the 6 categories. Oh, that's an interesting name for a trophy description. Anyway, you just basically have to finish the first five levels of each of the 6 puzzle types, and you'll get your platinum. You can do this in 10 minutes if you follow a guide. It took me... How long did this take me? I think it took me a little bit longer. Yeah, it took me almost 20 minutes, but you could definitely do it faster than that. I wasn't paying too much attention to the guides. I was trying to figure out some of them, or a good number of them myself. But pretty simple, just solve the different types of puzzles. Like, there's one that's one of those, like, crazy traffic type of games. I don't know if you guys ever played that board game where it's like you pick out a card and it tells you how to lay out all of the pieces on the board, and you have to move them in certain ways in order to move the main piece out. Like, there was some like that, and there was some where you just rotate pipes and stuff. There's another one where you rotate little half circles or quarter circles. So the puzzles, most of them, like, you might want to have a guide for sure for some of them, because a few of them can be a little bit trickier because there are time limits, but it's nothing really too much to be worried about. Next up, we have Lydia. This is a decent little story-driven walking simulator, narrative type of game. This is actually really nice because, as far as I can tell, every single trophy in this game is actually story-related. So I'm pretty sure all you have to do is just beat the game and all the trophies pop along the way. So it took me about 40 minutes, like 30 to 40 minutes to get this platinum. You could probably do it a little bit faster, but I'm not sure you could do it that much faster because I feel like it's pretty scripted. So for the most part, you're just sort of wandering around. There's no enemies to kill or anything like that. I don't think you can die. I want to say maybe, where is it? Maybe this trophy? I don't know if this one's actually required because it requires you to talk to all the different ghosts in the house, and I'm not sure if you actually have to talk to all of them to make the story progress, so maybe just keep an eye out for that one. But it looks like, the trophies progress with percentage in the way that they should. Okay, so now that's interesting. So 78.4% of players have the platinum, but 78.5% beat the game. So somehow 0.1% missed a trophy somewhere. That's my best guess. Maybe it just glitched on them or something. I don't know. But as far as I can tell, all you have to do is just beat the story pretty much and you get the platinum. By the way, these are the North American versions of these games. I think they both have other regional stacks, but they don't have PS5 stacks at the time this is being recorded. Next up, we have Welcome to James's Story in the World of Our Church and Halloween. I was really hoping they were done with this franchise, because the reason I played this game, I don't normally play any Breakthrough Arcade games for various reasons, mostly because they're really just not good games. They're just cheap, easy cash grab platinums. Though, to be fair, they're nowhere near as egregious as the jumping letter and jumping food types of games. They're not quite as bad as those. Because, like, their games, they only allow you to do a North American and a European stack only on the PS4, so at most you can only get each platinum done twice. And their games are also only 99 cents, so they're not price gouging anyone on any of their games. I think it's a fair enough price for the little bit of content you get, even though they probably could sell them all easily for 50 cents and be fine. And they sell a few of them for 50 cents. But anyway, this is a visual novel game from them, and if you know anything about their other visual novels, they're all insanely quick, easy platinums. In fact, I did 3 of them on my 100 Platinum World Record live stream. I did the 3 Bowling Story ones, and each one takes about 15 seconds. This one takes a little bit longer. This one takes closer to a minute to get through, like 30 to 60 seconds. So almost every trophy is extremely easy. Basically, you just, at the very beginning of the game, you select level 1, you walk through the maze, and it pops most of the trophies for you just by walking through the maze and then skipping through a few lines of dialogue, which takes a few seconds. The only other trophy you have to do after that is jump back into the menu, select level 9, and complete it. This is hardly even a level because all it is you go back. It's that same path that you walked at the very beginning of the game, except that this time it's timed, but the time limit is so generous, I don't really think there's any way you could screw it up unless you just weren't paying attention. So yeah, it's a super, super easy platinum trophy that takes less than a minute to do. And there's really not much more else to say about it. I mean, it's a so-called visual novel game that's an easy platinum. That's kind of a common thing nowadays. But again, the only reason I did this is because I've done all the other Our Church and Halloween games. It's the only franchise I've done all really concern myself with doing all the games for from Breakthrough. I suspect that we will probably get another one, or even just an Our Church and Halloween RPG Story 6, because it's almost Halloween, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get another one next weekend. But I guess we will have to see. And finally, we have Radioactive Dwarfs, Evil from the Sewers, the North American PS4 version. Actually, there's only PS4 versions, it's just 4 different regions. Normally, this platinum would already be quite easy because the game has either a debug menu or cheat codes or something that would allow you to beat the game somewhat legitimately by actually beating all the levels, which I think all you have to do is just complete the game and maybe do like secret levels or something. And I think that's all you actually have to do to get the Platinum Trophy normally, and there are like cheat codes or something you can do for it. The thing is that this game actually has a built-in secret ending where at the very beginning of the game, if you just walk backwards toward the ladder for about 15 to 20 seconds, you will be like, screw this, I'm out of here, and you get a secret ending, and all the trophies pop from getting that secret ending, which is awesome. I would criticize this game more, but I mean, at least, you know, it's the kind of game that they probably at least put some effort into. And normally it would take at least a little bit of effort to beat it. It's just that, you know, they put in that secret. And people didn't even know about that secret until several months after the game came out. So it wasn't an overly obvious thing to do. It's sort of like how they hid the debug menus in all the Jak and Daxter games for like a decade before anyone found them. So I don't criticize that as much. I mean, it's another quick, easy platinum, Garbo platinum, whatever you want to call it, platinum dumpster dive kind of game, but at least this is the kind of game that would probably take at least a little bit more effort to make and go through if it didn't have that little secret in it. That being said, the only reason I purchased this game to play it is because it was on sale. It was half price, and I don't think I've ever seen this game on sale before, so I decided to just go ahead and pick it up for that reason. So again, that's my reasoning for it. It was on sale. That's usually the only time that I buy some of these games is if they're on sale. That's the reason I bought Puzzle Frenzy and Lydia, because they were both on sale. The Breakthrough Arcade games never go on sale, but they're cheap enough anyway that I'm not really surprised. Then again, games like Spectre Woods and Lady in a Leotard with a Gun goes on sale too. Those go down to half price at like 25 cents or something. Wow, I actually talked all the way through the sync. That was a really faster sync than normal. Level 800, because yes, we hit level 800 this week, which is pretty cool. Only 199 more levels until we reach the current max rank. Level 800, 62%, 24,347 total trophies, 656 platinums, 4,167 golds, 6,481 silvers, 13,043 bronzes. Plans for the upcoming week. Plans for October have not changed. Still want to work on Black Ops 3 if I can get into a new group for it, and the Uncharted 3 last few random DLC trophies if I have the time for it. Then in November, which will probably end up getting pushed back at least till December, is GTA 5 and The Division. So there it is for your bingo card. We got to mention them again. Though at least with GTA 5, we can assume that it's not going to get any more DLC and it's not going to get a whole lot more major updates. And I mean, again, with GTA 5, I'm not worried about actually doing the heist DLC. That one's not that hard. It's just finding a group to do it with. And even just completing the Doomsday heist isn't really a problem. I can do 6 of those 8 trophies. It's purely just the Criminal Mastermind and Elite challenges that I'm worried about. And then, of course, The Division. We all know my thoughts on that game. So, yeah. And then after that, we've got The Division 2, maybe, mention it all the time as well, with its Platinum and 6 DLCs, even though 3 of its DLCs are really easy. And Dead Island Riptide for the PS4, which I am kind of excited to do. I think that'll be fun. I don't know. Hopefully I can get it done before Dead Island 2 actually comes out. And then in January, we get back to our single-player games with things like Conan Exiles, Outer Worlds, COD Classic, Shadow of the Colossus. I'm also probably going to be getting started on that Platinum 666 pretty soon because it is about a 20-hour game. So probably within the next 1 to 2 weeks, I'll get started on that, and that'll take up any time where I'm not playing Black Ops 3 or Uncharted or any of those other games. So, yeah, that's the current plans. Still, I mean, didn't make a lot of progress on the backlog recently, but, you know, that backlog is getting smaller and smaller. There's fewer and fewer unearned trophies on my profile, and like a quarter of them are from the Outer Worlds, which is not a particularly hard platinum, and one that I am looking forward to going back to. But, yeah, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Please like, favorite, share, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell if you haven't already. For this upcoming week, when it comes to scheduling, I'm going to try to get at least a few Platinum Trophy videos out, just because I've been kind of neglecting that series recently because there's been so many trophy lists to look at. So hopefully I can get at least a few of those out and start working through my backlog of those videos. But I don't think there's any more trophy list analysis videos that are going to come out until God of War Ragnarok releases, and that's not that far away. That's only a few weeks away, so presumably we'll get the trophy list out soon. It looks like Modern Warfare 2 for 2022 is going to be a pretty easy platinum, from what I've heard. Plague Tale Requiem is an easy platinum. There's apparently a JoJo Siwa game now, so that should make for a... Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream that, because it's probably a music-based game, and I don't want the copyright notices, so we'll see about that. And then otherwise, there should actually be 2 streams this weekend, again, because we have our bye week this week. Clemson has the bye week, so don't have any games to go to or watch. So hopefully a couple of streams this weekend, hopefully a few Platinum Trophy videos throughout the week. Yeah, that should be it for this video, so hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys back here this week for some more content.